Welcome to Living Life. Today we come to a passage that has so much for us to consider. Our passage begins with Paul exhorting the Philippians, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is anything excellent and worthy of praise, think about these things. Oh, this is good advice. Can we not dwell on the higher things of life? It seems that in our social media-driven world, there is much that is guttural, much that is debasing, much that is snarky, so much that is mean. It almost seems like it's a race to the bottom. Where is the honorable, the just, the pure, the commendable in what we are doing? As we think about our days and nights, how we are, who we talk to, what we do, can we not aim high? As you watch television, as you listen to music, as you go on the internet, in your conversations with your friends, relatives, and colleagues, can we not be true, honorable, just, and pure? That is strong exhortation for us, my friends. But we can do it with the Lord's help.
Philippians chapter 4, verses 8 to 13. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. I rejoiced greatly in the Lord that at last you renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you were concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through Him who gives me strength.
The next major point from Paul in our text is found in verse 11. I have learned to be content with whatever I have. Paul says he knows what it is to have little, and he knows what it is to have plenty. He has learned the secret of being well-fed and of being hungry, and that is what? That he can do all things through Christ who gives him strength. Wow. Contentedness in any and all circumstances. What an elusive goal. We're all so up and down with our emotions, depending on our circumstances. When things go well for us, we're happy. And when we're faced with trials and difficulties, we tend to be discouraged. Contentedness is a different state. Contentedness has little to do with the size of one's bank account or how things have gone today or yesterday. Contentedness is the feeling, the blessed feeling that no matter what is happening, I can do this. Whether I have a lot of food or not that much food, whether my job is going well or I am unemployed, whether my health is good or I am sick, whether my family is doing well or not, we think, I can get through this. And this is not simply a matter of willpower, as if we only need to be mentally and physically strong. Willpower is often not enough, particularly for those of us who struggle with mental illness, the emotional struggles of our brothers and sisters who are battling depression or OCD or bipolar diagnoses. These are difficult battles, and willpower is not enough. There may be a need for medication or counseling or therapy, but all of us have storms in our life that we must weather. All of us. But ask any sailor or boater in the midst of a storm, what do you focus on? The lighthouse, the harbor, the direction you're going. You don't focus on the waves or the wind to your left or to your right. You focus on your destination. And so we come to the crucial point of this passage. I can do all things through him who gives us strength. The lighthouse, the point in the distance, the harbor, the North Star to guide us in our ups and downs is Christ. Jesus will supply the strength. Now, this could be through friends or good advice or financial provision or family members or a new direction or a comforting thought. God works in many ways to get us through our times of plenty and our times of want. How is God strengthening you today? Perhaps there are things or people or perspectives we have not noticed because we did not have eyes to see. God may be providing a way of escape or a safe passage to the storm or a way to be content. We don't even notice it. Paul, of course, was whipped 5 times at 39 lashes each, he says. And in 1 Corinthians 11, he writes, 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was pelted with stones. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I spent a night and a day in the open sea. I've been constantly on the move. I have been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits, in danger from my fellow Jews, in danger from Gentiles, in danger in the city, in danger in the country, in danger at sea, in danger from false believers. I have labored and toiled and have often gone without sleep. I have known hunger and thirst and often gone without food. I have been cold and naked. Besides everything else, I face the daily pressure of my concern for the churches. This reads like some kind of adventure novel. And how did Paul cope with all of this? With the strength God provided in times of weakness and in feeling strong. Most of us will never have to go through what Paul went through, but we still struggle with things like cancer, lack of funds, COVID, injuries, and pressures. Can we be content in all of our circumstances? Perhaps by taking the higher road, honor and purity and justice, we can see our pathway through the many myriad circumstances we face. But we know that is Jesus beside us, giving us strength. The recently departed Brennan Manning tells a wonderful story about someone he was asked to visit. He went to visit an older man, and the man's daughter sent him to the room where her dying father lay, and she left. Brennan saw an empty chair next to the bed and says, "I see you were expecting me." The man says, "No, who are you?" As they talked, the man said that throughout his life, he never knew Jesus and never knew how to pray. Then one day, a friend told him that praying to Jesus was just the same as talking to him. And his friend said, "Why don't you set a chair across from yourself and picture Jesus there and talk to him?" And so he did just that. The man told Brennan that for the last 4 months, he kept that chair by his bed and talked to Jesus for hours on end. He wanted to know if that was praying. And Brennan said it was, in the most wonderful way. The man said, "Don't tell my daughter. She'll think I'm crazy." Well, after some time, the daughter let Brennan know that her father had died, and she said it was very curious. He died with his head resting on the chair next to the bed. Brennan knew the man died with his head in Jesus' lap. You can make it. Whatever joys and sorrows you are experiencing, Jesus will give you strength. He's right there beside you. Rest on him. Amen.